Hello, welcome to our channel. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for coming. You are the salt of the earth. You are the people that make the world go round. As this bolus goes away, my fingers are beginning to work so I can tie a tie. Anyway, welcome to daylight savings time. Be very careful when you drive today because there's a 24% increase in heart attacks and traffic accidents within the first 2 days of daylight savings time. So Trump will not stop daylight savings time. DEMS stopped funding for the Coast Guard and airport security as the war continues. Gold has been suppressed to 5,000. Silver's been suppressed to 80 or 82, depending on what. It goes from 80 to 86 and then back down again. This is going to break because there's going to be a failure to delivery at the end of the month. All of the silver and all of the gold is already spoken for. There was a failure to deliver in September. There was a failure to deliver in December. And now there's going to be a failure to deliver at the end of March. Only now, April, May, and June, the Earth is going to come close to this magnetic anomaly, so everything's going to hit the fan. War, weather, everything. Because they want it all to hit the fan by June. They're under orders by Lucifer. I know, I get his letters. I get Lucifer's letters. I know it's in him because I listen to the broadcast. I know what Lucifer's talking about. If you try to learn, if you go to Lucifer, you get sucked in. You better be right with God, and you better understand the language that he uses. Because left is right, and up is down, and black is white, and green is red. Anyway, so I go to Noble Gold to get my gold because I'm sick and tired of reading all this stuff about people getting fake silver and fake gold. Plus, there's a new $600. You sell more than $600, 600 or more in silver, you get taxed. Federal tax, plus we have state tax. I deal directly with Noble Gold. I avoid all those taxes. And that's a lot of money. Well, anyway, I was going to talk about what somebody said, but I think it was a misquote. Basically, everybody's saying get out of the stock market. It's down 4,000 points. Oil is up to $100 a barrel. $100 a barrel. We haven't seen that since the financial crisis in 2007. When on March 13th, it went from 14,000 to 6,900, the stock market. So we're definitely in charted times, planned times. About every 10 years, we have an economic crash. That's what the Federal Reserve does to us. All hail the masters who run your money, Zig Heil. That's what they say. That's what they say behind closed doors. They will hail us. And the contagion, remember the private equity market is collapsing. Because they're finding that where they invested the money, there's nothing. Zero. Zilch. All the money's going into AI, not oil exploration. So oil prices are going higher and higher and higher. But the AI is producing nothing. Because it doesn't do anything but track you. It's all about tracking you and making you bow to the Nazi government. National Socialist government. Nazi, as they called it in WW2. So now this contagion, this investing contagion, is spreading to the insurance companies. I'm sorry they're still spraying us. If Trump was really pro-America, why is he still spraying us? Yeah, question you have to ask. Why are they still poisoning us in the air and the water? Anyway, so the contagion is spreading from the private equity market into the insurance companies. You can expect one of two things. Your insurance company will disappear. And if you don't insure your house, they seize your mortgage. Or number two, your rates are going to go up. We'll just pay higher rates. They've been going up and up and up here in Washington State. Even though we've had very few natural disasters, somebody's making a lot of money. It's the way it is. And the latest scam involves Peacock, Paramount, and Comcast. You see, Comcast is a carrier for the TV, and Peacock and Paramount provide shows. So you sign up for a monthly basis. They charge you for a full year. Then they charge you on a monthly basis. Then when you call Comcast and Peacock and Paramount to try and stop the charges, you talk to an AI. You can't stop the charges. So you get charged a whole full year. Then you're getting charged every month, sometimes twice a month. And you can't stop it. Don't sign up with Comcast, Paramount, and with Peacock. Because when you talk on the phone, All you talk to is an AI, and they're very good. The AI starts going around in circles. What is your name? My name is Grace. I'm from America. You know that routine. Well, no, this is even worse. My name is Kelly. I am from St. Paul. I am Kelly. I am from St. Paul. You're talking to an AI. So Comcast, Peacock, and Paramount have gone 100% AI. Up, screw the American people. You're going to pay, and you can't stop us. Even if you change credit cards, we have a program to follow you. You have to call your credit card company every month and challenge it. Good luck, because they're just going to keep charging you and charging you and charging you. That's Comcast. And have you noticed that the hamburger meat now is like Play-Doh? What is it, 85 million hamburgers served a day? Show me the cows for that. That ain't all cow meat. All the aborted children are sold primarily to the food industry for dyes and for... You come up with the end of that sentence. Infanticide, promoted by the DEMS, the Democrats, the evil Democrats, they provided something called infanticide, which is the killing of a child up to 2 years old. You sell it to a meat company. Well, you sell it to somebody. I don't know. This is sick. The Democrats are possessed. Anyway, and if you go into Walmart, if Jane looks at a product, it's one price. If I go and look at a product, it's a different price because I make more money than she does. Walmart is now pricing things based on your income. That's beyond insanity. And the U.S. Coast Guard, which is funded by a dozen federal agencies, Department of Homeland Security, will not be funded by the Democrats. In fact, they voted to put up a post to honor those who killed the January 6ers. So they're honoring murderers, the Democrats. Why not? Bill Ayers was the chief of staff for Biden, and he was a cop killer. He blew the face off of one guy, and he killed another cop, and he never went to jail. Why is he not in jail, Trump? Why is Epstein not in jail? Look on your 20. Looks just like Epstein. These people are clones. They've been around forever. Anyway, the U.S. Coast Guard is only partially funded. They have a $14.5 billion budget. They're the ones that interdict the drugs coming into the U.S. Well, the Democrats don't want that. They want the drugs to come in because they're money in the back pocket. And they're not funding airport security. Now, the airlines were ordered Zig Heil by Department of Homeland Security to give over their security to Homeland Security. Now, overseas, if you have a felony, you can't fly. They don't have instances on planes. But here in America, where you can fly no matter what, Zig Heil, the government controls the security. And it is a Charlie Foxtrot in America. Let me tell you, I've flown around the world. The United States is the worst place in the world. You think we're not a Nazi organization? Fly overseas. Tell me how you feel. So the Democrats absolutely want the drugs to come into this country and the airlines to shut down because they're not funding the Department of Homeland Security. And there's 2 Republicans that have joined them in the Senate. Like we said, Trump could have a rump Senate, but he refuses. He's going to hold this out, destroy America until the elections. It's not going to work, Trump. The destruction of America is not going to work. And we're bombing Iran. Now, let me ask you this. If we were really concerned about Iran getting nuclear weapons, in 2007, when I went to Russia to pull 246 U.S.-made nukes under the Green Sands program, Dwight D. Eisenhower, everybody will have nukes, therefore nobody will use them. The mutually assured destruction treaties. If they were so worried about Iran getting a nuke, wouldn't they help me remove 246 nukes from Iran? No, instead, when I went to the U.S. Embassy in March or April of 2007 and said they're exporting nuclear rods, Moxie rods, from the Chernobyl reactors. You see, the United States started exporting nuclear Moxie rods to Chernobyl. Now, Moxie rods contain plutonium. They're much hotter than regular nuclear rods, which caused a reactor in Chernobyl to melt down. It was we, the United States suppliers of moxie rods, that caused the Chernobyl reactor to melt down. And then we started exporting through the FBI moxie rods to Iran. And then Ahmadinejad built 14 more. They got rid of Ahmadinejad. Then the Ayatollah, whose daddy was a Jewish cowboy in the West Coast who moved to Iran and became a devout Muslim, popped out a son who became Ayatollah Khomeini, and now his son is running Iran. They have no lineage back to Muhammad. The Shia Muslims, the priests must have lineage back to Muhammad. Well, Fortune magazine did an article years ago that proved that there was no lineage back to Muhammad, so they've got a false prophet in Iran. It's typical. A demon takes over. Nobody can touch him. You can bomb him till he's blue in the face. You can't touch him. Here's the problem. Somebody from Iran tried to kill Trump, and then somebody from Iran again tried to kill Trump. Out of 101 now 102 assassination attempts on him, 2 were from Iran. But did he contact the person who called all 102 assassination attempts? So this is all a facade he's putting on. But anyway, Iran has been killing American troops because we're all over the Middle East. We have like 25, 30 bases in the Middle East. Why we're all over the Middle East is beyond me. So Iran now and the U.S. have started targeting oil refineries and desalination plants. You see, Iran's out of water. They were planning to evacuate Tehran because there's no water, rather than take a pipeline from the Caspian Sea, desalinating it, and bringing it into the people, or drilling wells to bring water up. They're just going to evacuate Tehran. So instead, they started killing U.S. troops to start a war. Because they know with 90 million people, there isn't half as much water as they need on a yearly basis. So their wells are running dry in other countries, but in Tehran, they haven't even sunk them yet. So Tehran, the capital of Iran, is out of water. So they need to do something. And when all else fails, take someone to war. So now they're blowing up the desalination plants in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, Iraq. The only reason the people are alive is because they desalinate the water. Not so much in northern Iraq where they have the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, but they're running dry. Same with the Nile. And as the rivers run dry, they're finding ancient cities in there. So 1200 BC, the Hittite Empire was wiped out because there was a massive drought across the Middle East. Nile almost dried up, Euphrates and Tigris rivers almost dried up, and there are cities now, huge cities they're finding on the banks with alien technology and all kinds of good stuff. So apparently this drought has hit before, but now it's hitting really bad. And as the Earth, here's the sun, here's the Earth, it's coming around to the magnetic anomaly, March. It all begins in April, the fun. They're trying to have everything hit the fan, from a financial contagion to the collapse of the U.S. economy because there's a failure to deliver silver and gold, to massive war. It's all orchestrated. And here it comes. Again, why would the FBI tell me to F off and treat me so poorly at an American embassy when I was a captain in the U.S. Army? Why would they treat me so poorly at the American embassy when I tried to stop the exportation of nuclear rods from Chernobyl to Iran? And why is it, and we're going to show this, we showed this on number 2. Why is it that the face of Netanyahu hasn't changed in 26 years? And every year he says Iran will have a nuclear weapon within 6 months. Every year he says that. Iran will have a nuclear weapon in 6 months. Hang on, folks, because it's going to be an interesting year. It's going to get more interesting as the month goes on. And then April, it'll be more interesting as the contagions start to spread. And there's a failure to delivery, and they don't talk about it because they're going to try to cover it up until June when all poop hits the fan. I believe that they're pulling all the stops out. Again, Iran should not have tried to kill Trump. That was really stupid. So the Ayatollah, an 86-year-old man who claims to have had cancer, but come on, with C60 and seaweed and or take down, C60 and seaweed and Immucyst, any leader with cancer is dumber than a rock and deserves it. But anyway, he hasn't changed in 26 years, just like President Assad didn't change. Isn't that amazing? Just like Trump went from 6'3" to 5'7", just like J.D. Vance went from green eyes, dark brown green eyes to steely blue eyes. Yeah. You think maybe you're being led down the primrose path to perdition? Yeah. Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning.